Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Thursdate with Erica. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. This week, I know if you were tuning in last week, it was the start of Stampede. So right now we're right in the middle of Stampede. If you guys have been following my page, you saw that, we did some Stampede activities, saw the fireworks and saw the grand stand show, which was really cool. So I hope that you guys are having a great week. Weather here in Calgary is getting hot and muggy. Prayers go out to our fellow Canadians in British Columbia who are experiencing some wildfires over there. It's, really crazy. I hope everybody's safe. The smoke is getting a little bit to Calgary, and so we're hoping everybody over in BC is safe and that it rains soon because it is desperately needed. But today, for Thursday with Erica, we are chatting with Stephanie. So I've known Stephanie since she started. We're kind of in the same team, and so I've seen her journey a little bit in this business, and it's so amazing. And I just love watching her page and watching her go lives. She is living the dream right now in Vancouver Island, and she is a fellow airline industry employee. She's a flight attendant, but I will bring her on and have her introduce herself to you guys. Hi, Stephanie.
Hey Erica, thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Thanks for, accepting my invitation to be interviewed on my series. And so, as I was saying, could you do just a little bit of introduction of yourself to our viewers today?
Yeah, of course, of course. So I actually grew up in Nova Scotia, Canada, in a very tiny little town, and I moved out west. It's going to be almost 11 years ago now, and I actually started in Alberta and slowly made my way across a little bit further, where I now live on beautiful Vancouver Island. I've been here for it's going to be 4 years next month,
Wow.
actually. So it's been incredible. We just moved up island about 3 months ago. And yeah, as you mentioned, I'm a flight attendant. I actually am just returning back to work. I was actually laid off for almost 16 months, which is
Wow.
crazy. So just, yeah, returning back to work and pretty excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a bit about me. Super outdoorsy. So summer's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Exactly. That's awesome. So yeah, you've gone from one coast of Canada to the other. And yes, I guess if you're used to living on the coast, right? I guess it's a natural thing to be drawn to Vancouver Island in British Columbia, which is beautiful. Like I visited BC a few times and I just absolutely love it. Will eventually love to live over there and right, live the dream.
It's nice. It's like the best of both worlds, right? When we were living in Alberta, we missed the ocean.
Yeah.
But now that we're here, we have mountains and ocean. So
Yeah.
it's pretty spectacular. We're actually only 45 minutes from the ski hill, and
Wow.
yeah, the beach is right outside our condo. So yeah.
That's so crazy. Absolutely living the life. That's awesome. So I wanted to ask you more a little bit about, your life before starting your digital business. Like, can you
Yeah.
talk about your experiences then?
Yeah, of course. So, like I said, I grew up in a really small town back east, and I went to university for a few years. So I actually studied French, and then I studied tourism management, actually. So my pretty much every job I've ever had has been in the hospitality industry. So I've worked restaurants, I've worked hotels, I've worked cafes. I did call center for a while, actually, as well. And I knew then when I had moved across to across Canada, which was really really hard. Don't get me wrong. I was very very tight knit with my family, and I actually met a boy who I'm still with to this day, who actually convinced me to move across the country.
Okay.
And with that move, I actually lived in Camera, Alberta, and got to know quite a few people, and a lot were from people from like Australia and New Zealand,
Yeah.
and people from Czech Republic and the Philippines, and I was like, man, like these people are so brave to not like I moved across the country, but they physically moved to a whole other country and they're loving it. So I kind of get the itch a bit to do a bit of traveling, and yeah, so I was a flight attendant for, like I said, would have been 9 years before I was laid off, and that's really what got me traveling. So, we've been to Australia a few times. We actually had a few trips in the past year that were canceled.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're just super outdoorsy people. We love snowboarding, paddleboarding, camping, like anything we can do recreational.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah, we've tried when we go on vacations and that we try and do like one excursion that we have never done before. And so
That's awesome.
we've done bungee jumping, we've done skydiving. I did scuba diving for the first time, so I'm now
Mhm.
actually an advanced scuba diver, advanced
Nice.
PUDI certified scuba diver because I loved it.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows me, I'm not the most comfortable in water, so that was a huge, huge feat for me. But now you can't get me out of it. Yeah, and we actually had a shark dive planned 1 year in Hawaii. It actually got canceled because the water was
Oh
too
no.
rough. No, I was devastated. We showed up at the dock and everything, like nervous but excited.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're not going out today." But then they were so booked out, like
That,
the next few days
yeah.
that we just never got to go. So that's on my next to do list. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
get back.
too bad. So I used to live in Hawaii and we actually went on the shark dive. And as we were heading out, the
Yeah,
tour guide was like, you're going to get tempted, but don't reach out your hand
yeah,
through the cage to
yeah,
touch the shark. And we were all like, are you nuts? Like, who would be crazy enough to do that?
yeah.
But then when you're in the water, you legit want to reach out and touch the shark. And you're like, why am I doing this? But I really want to touch the shark, but I shouldn't. But yeah, because yeah, heading out, they were like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
We're all like, yeah, that's common sense. But when you're in the water, you're like,
I
ah.
know, right? They probably seem scary, but like peaceful at the same time. Because I feel like everything down below, everything's so calm and
Yeah,
like tranquil, right? And so
yeah,
I'm this, yeah, I can probably see why you want, because it's same when you're scuba diving anything, you're not supposed to touch the core or anything, but it's so beautiful, and
exactly. And
it
you
just,
just want to be part of
yeah,
the nature, right? Like, yeah, one time I was scuba diving in Hawaii and like all of a sudden this huge turtle was swimming beside me and I was like, this is so cool, right? Like just all those experiences that you get to have when
yeah,
you travel and get out of your bubble. And
yeah,
so I love that. Now, so when I went to university, I studied international business management and then I minored in hospitality and tourism as well. And
nice,
so, yeah, so I think a lot of the jobs that I've done may not necessarily be in hospitality, but done a lot of like customer relations type, like customer service type of role. Now, are there any experiences or jobs that you've done, that skills that you've learned from all these other things that you've done that have kind of translated into your digital business?
yeah, for sure. I would say, well, like you said, customer service is a huge, huge thing, right? Um, I still remember when I was in high school, I was in drama club, and my very first time in huge performance, I got up on the stage and I got stage fright and forgot all my lines, and it was the most humiliating thing because we had probably 100, whatever, I don't know, people in
Yeah.
the audience, that sort of thing, and it just the feeling of letting everybody down, right? Because I couldn't, without
Mhm.
me saying my lines, they all got thrown
Yeah.
off, and it was just the worst feeling ever in the world. So as I progressed from there, I got more and more comfortable with speaking in front of people, but
Yeah.
also helping people, because I did a lot of volunteer work and stuff through school, and when I was in community college as well, I did a lot of volunteer stuff, and it was just being able to, not necessarily an extrovert, because I'm definitely not an extrovert, but I'm kind of in between introvert and extrovert.
Mhm.
But I'm comfortable now with talking with people and being in front of people, and which is a very transferable skill, I would say, because you need to be able
Mhm.
to chat with people from all over the world, but all different personalities as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I would say those that definitely, I would say, helped. Also, just meeting different, like I said, different people who traveled, and who came to this country. Like I said, when I lived in Canmore, they're the ones who got me excited to want to travel, which is why I do this business. I would say is
Yeah.
breaking me out of my shell and learning about other cultures and
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. So that's another transferable skill I would say, is because like this, what is, we're over 90,000 people now
Yeah,
do this,
it
and
is crazy.
it is crazy, right? And
Yeah.
people all over the world, like it's amazing to see. So that's, I would say, another transferable skill, but definitely the customer service is the huge part, and wanting to help people,
Yeah.
not just, not in it all for myself, but the,
Yeah.
wanting to see people succeed, but wanting people to reach their dreams and be happy, and I think
Yeah.
that with everything that I've done in the industry, it is a lot of, yes, tourism related,
Mm-hmm.
but I've always been in that position to help people and get what they wanted, whether it was, serving, or whether it was working front desk or working call center. I was always there to
Yeah.
help people work on their problems, or,
Yeah.
find,
A
um,
solution
yeah,
to
exactly.
a
Find a
way for them to
solution.
get what they want. Yeah.
Exactly. And I love, like I said, I love chatting with people. And on the flights, I
Yeah.
think I quite often get told that I talk too much now by several people. It seems to be an issue of mine, but I'm just so fascinated by people's stories. And
Mhm.
I just, yeah, I don't know. I just love meeting people and talking with them and hearing their stories. And so, yeah. How about
That's
you?
for me, I think again, the customer service and being able to, relate to people
Yeah.
and I do love hearing people's stories, right? Like people reach out to me and tell me kind of what they're struggling with and what they're going through in their lives, and I love being able to connect with people that way.
Yeah.
And and even with the people that are reaching out to me, they may or may not join the business, but still having that connection and, having this opportunity that's ready for them when they're ready to go at it
Yeah.
is amazing, right? Like it's there, the offer is there, and when they're ready, then they can take a chance and go on and pursue their dreams.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, um, connecting with people. I think, well, with the business management side, I don't know why I love Excel sheets.
Organization
I'm
is
a
good.
nerd that way. So, yeah. So, having like making different Excel sheets to keep everything on track and keep
Yeah.
track of everything and keep everything organized, I think that's always helpful, right? Especially when you're running your own business.
Yeah.
I think that's a very important skill to have because you do have to keep track of everything and you are in charge of everything, right? Not like when you're an employee and somebody kind of just tells you or pays you that hourly wage or salary or whatever. Like they kind of take care of all of the back end stuff, but being able to have the freedom to do what I want with my business and run it how I want, you know I
Yeah.
think that's priceless, right? Like because you get
Yes.
to do what you want.
Exactly. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So what made you want to have your own digital business? Were you looking for something? Were you looking for this when you started?
No. So, I've always kind of wanted down the road for like a retirement gig to do like a little bed and breakfast style thing, something along those lines. But actually starting like an official business of my own at this age never crossed my mind. So it
Hmm.
wasn't until actually last fall when last spring, when I was laid off at the end of March, I didn't really look for anything at the beginning because I didn't think it was going to take this long for me to get brought back. I was like, oh, a month or two, whatever, and then I'll be back up
Yeah.
and going. And then, it just kept getting worse and plummeting like every day, every week,
Yeah.
just getting worse. So I started looking into different opportunities that would kind of give me a similar lifestyle to flying, but I knew nothing would quite be the same as that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like the idea of flying because it gave me the fluctuate, like that I could bid my schedules and it got me out traveling, and I
Yeah.
kind of wanted
Exactly.
to keep, yeah, I wanted to keep that that same sort of lifestyle. So I had previously before worked in hotels and serving and that sort of thing, and I always had that to fall back on, which I
Mhm.
did in the last year. I won't lie, but I wanted something that would kind of give me that same lifestyle that I could still do my traveling and have time off and flexibility. So one day I was actually online and I came across a post by another flight attendant who actually works for the same airline as I do. And she was chatting just a bit about this business and how she actually gave up flying her full-time flying position to stay at home with her kids and run this business. So I chatted with her a bit about it and watched the webinar. And that's kind of what gave me the introduction to it. And I left, or I shouldn't say I left, but I kind of put it on the back burner. I was like, you know what, I don't know if this is quite for me. I need some time to think, and then it hit July, and I had actually went to Vancouver when everything had started reopening, when all the restaurants and bars and everything were reopening, and just chatting with a lot of other crew members and that I was able to get in contact with, and some friends. And I don't know, for some reason I was like, what am I doing? Like, I have, they're all struggling trying to find work. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't want to go back to school. Like, I don't want to, as much as I love working in hotels and serving and stuff, it was very structured schedule, right? And
Exactly.
it would give me the flexibility, and you get your 2 weeks off a year. And I didn't want that. So I reached back out to Ashima, who's now my mentor, and chatted with her a bit more. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I dove in. And then once I did, I came to realize there were so many other airline employees, such as yourself, who does this, and it works so perfectly. Well, it works perfectly alongside any job, honestly. But for me to go back traveling as a flight attendant, I throw my phone.
You can bring it with you.
Take it with you. Yeah, it's perfect.
Exactly.
It's so perfect. So I have best of both worlds. And I mean, at the time when I was looking at this, I didn't know if I was even going to be going back to flying. But I had my high hopes anyway.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
So then I started this would have been beginning of August, actually, is when I signed papers, did everything. And at that time as well, I also worked several other jobs because I did have bills that I had to pay, and I needed to have some sort of income coming in.
Yeah.
So I tried a doggy daycare position, which was not for me. I worked in pressure washing for a paint company. It was not for me. I went back to serving because it was the easiest position for me, but I knew it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but I knew I was like, I was working every evening, every weekend, every holiday.
And it's hard work, right? Serving is such hard work.
Exhausting. 10, 12-hour days on my feet, never break. And I was like, oh my God, this is why I left this like 15 years ago, and here I am back at it again. I tried a bank position, and I realized that I'm not meant to sit at a desk. Oh my God, 8 hours at the desk was killing me. I was sitting there and I was fidgeting, and the girls were like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I can't sit here. This is like, you're like, I can't. This is driving me crazy. So this even made even more concrete that I made the right decision by doing this business. Because yes, it does take some time, you are still on social media, you're still on, a phone or an iPad or a computer, that sort of thing. It does take some time, but it's not hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, I can take my phone to the beach and sit there and watch the waves and, respond to my emails. Or like this morning we were chatting, I did my go live, my post this morning when I was out for my run, and I did it from the beach. Like, you can literally do it from anywhere, and you can add your own feed too. So that's, I would say, the long story of how I get into this business, but why I think, I ultimately made the right decisions, trying so many other different things. And it's just, this is the one thing that I've stuck with this past year that I'm happy that I did. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And it's crazy, right? Like, you've tried all those other things, but at least now, those things are not for you, right? Like doggy daycare, nope. Sitting in a desk, nope. Right. So now and I think that's valuable, right? And to have learned that at such a young age and not have wasted so much time trying to figure that out, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is, So since starting the business,
Yes.
so you're going to be in the business for almost a year now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very exciting. What was the most surprising thing that you found about the system? Like, is that
I would say, I don't want to say with the fact of it being easy, but kind of easy at the same time. So the training is amazing because I'm not super tech savvy. So I'll give you.
I was going to ask, like, are you
Yeah.
do you have any experience with computers, websites, and all that stuff?
Well, even Facebook, I deleted before I moved to the island, and I only got it back because when I was laid off, I wanted to stay in contact with everybody from work, and it was the easiest way to do it. Yeah. But because I got back on Facebook is how I actually found out about this business, so it worked out. So I didn't even know I got on there. I didn't know how to do posts anymore. I didn't know how, like, I had an old outdated iPhone, and that was the only thing I had. So to be able to step out of my comfort zone and have the training so easy to follow, and like the videos and step by step, that was really surprising for me. I would say. And also just the community here is, because you know, you hear of so many businesses, you know, standalone businesses where everyone's in competition, right? There's so much competition. And you know, thinking going into something like this, you're like, oh well, you know, there's honestly no competition, right? Like there's, you know, it's incredible. Like you and I our businesses have no relationship to each other, but yet here we are helping each other with what we do.
Yeah.
So that to me was like very surprising as well. And so yeah, I guess you could kind of say it's been an easy process coming in when I had no experience with starting a business. I'm not tech savvy whatsoever. I'm lucky if I can turn a computer on most days, sort of thing. I had my phone for almost 2 months and I still hadn't configured it. Like every day I kept getting the thing coming up saying, set up your phone, set up your phone. I don't know. I'm still working on it, getting better.
Yeah.
But I would say that was one of the huge things for me, was just how easy it was to come in. And there are some things that, you know, tend to be a bit more difficult. Again, because it's just me getting outside of my comfort zone, and it's all the learning process. And but just having all the different avenues here of support, whether it's mentors like yourself, you're a coach, like those types of things are really helpful. But then there's so many different groups, you know, that you can connect with, you know, business owners who are really strong in YouTube, or really strong with LinkedIn, or really strong with Facebook, who have created groups where you can go in and get support if you have questions. And that was amazing for me. That's
and be willing to share their experience and expertise, right?
Yeah, when they don't have to. They no benefit from that to them other than the fact that they're helping someone else, which is what we all do, right? That is our, like, the whole backing of this business is to help other people when you think about it. So that was one of my huge surprises, I guess, with starting this, was just the support as well.
And,
how fun it is too, right? Like I, you know, think of starting a business and how stressful it is, but it's like getting up in the morning, and I'm actually excited to get up and and see where I'm at, and see where everyone else is at. And I mean, in every sort of way, right? And just it's, I don't know, it's been a really, really good, something I've never would have thought. I don't know how else to describe it.
No, that makes sense. And I think too, like having our community and having, like, as you said, something to look forward to wake up. I think that's so beneficial too, with especially the year and a half that we've had.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think I fared better with what's going on with the world because of my digital business, and because I had the support of all these people from all over the world. And, you know, I had kind of a focus of what I wanted to do in the day, and I had different goals that I was working towards. And I think that just helped with my whole mindset and the whole, my whole outlook, and kind of dealing with the last year and a half.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think like so grateful for that, because I think there's a lot of people out there that didn't have that and were really struggling.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's understandable. We all went through the ringer this last year and a half.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
People still are too. Like, it's crazy how many people are still struggling and how businesses are still struggling, right?
Exactly.
Like, how many businesses have closed over the last year and are
Yeah.
still closing, and it's really quite sad, right? So to think
It
that
is.
we had this, like, a business that continued to grow and expand and be so large when everything else is hurting. So
Yeah. And it's crazy because the way it grew, our business grew in the last like year and a half, it was like exponential. It was ridiculous because everybody was looking for something, and everybody kind of got woken up to, we need to figure something else out, because everything, all the traditional stuff that we thought would have been stable is now out the door, right? Like shops, like brick and mortar businesses are closing down, struggling to make ends meet. And, you know, same with people. And so I'm grateful that I found this before the pandemic happened. I'm grateful that you found this during and was able to help, right? And like so many people have actually really, you know, jumped in this last year and a half, and just like absolutely rocked it. Right. And you're the perfect example for that, right? Like, you are just living the life, hanging out at the beach with your, you know, coworkers, the whale and seals, and people's like
they're the best ones, I swear.
Exactly, right? Just swimming away and swimming along the ocean. Like, that's awesome, right? And I'm so proud of you. You're done amazing. And so thank you for, you know, sharing your story. Now, is there anything that you would like to tell, you know, our viewers that may be a little bit hesitant of checking this out?
Yeah, of course. Again, I would say do your due diligence, do your research, right? First step we say for everybody is how we all got started, of course, is to watch the webinar if you haven't already. Watch as many times as you need. It's jam-packed full of information, and the nice thing is that it's live every Tuesday and Thursday, so there's always different presenters and different people on the panel. So you can see different people from all over the world, so you know it's a functioning business. It's not the same couple people continuously every week saying the same story, sort of thing. So again, I would start there, and then I also like to tell people what drew you to Erica's page to begin with. What drew you here to watching this today, right? You know, what about, you know, her post or her ad or her video or her picture, what her story, even what made you intrigued, you know, what made you resonate with it. And I think that's the huge thing we always say as well, is you need a why. Like, why do you want to do this business? And if that's strong enough, then I believe you can make this very successful for you. And again, it does take a bit of time. It does take some dedication, that sort of thing. But again, it's so nice because people do this part-time, people do this full-time. They do it, you know, while they're working. Some people who are retired and do this. So just kind of figure out your end game as well. And that's really, you know, just figure out, if you have faith in yourself, I think you can honestly make it work. It's, you know, figure out your why you wanted to do it. Watch that webinar. If you have further questions, Erica's amazing. She's, you know, like, I've been following her for the past year, and it's, you're incredible. So I mean, you're a mom, single mom, looking after 2 wee ones, and little anymore.
I know, right?
But yeah, to, like, you know, be running a business so successfully, and it's incredible. So I would say, if you have more information, reach out to, or if you would like more information, reach out to Erica. But again, why not either, right? You know, it's watch the webinar. If it's not for you, it's okay. It's not for everyone. But if it is, you know, exciting, you know?
Yeah.
It
exactly.
doesn't
It's free.
Exactly.
It's free. So there's, you know, there's no risk to it. Just watch, right? Get the
Yeah,
information.
yeah,
Exactly. Thank you.
yeah. Shorter than a movie. It's 2 episodes of Friends, like which seems to be the show everyone watches now. Everybody,
Yeah.
like why not? Pour a glass of wine, make a cup of
Yep.
tea, whatever, and just sit and watch it. It could better yourself. You could learn something. So yeah, just I don't know. I just say just dive right in. Do your due diligence, do
Exactly.
your research, and dive right in.
Yep. Come scuba diving with us.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. Thanks for, taking the time and letting us hear your story. I loved it. I love hearing about all your different experiences and kind of what led you to this and your journey in your digital career. We'll call it that. And I am really excited to see, just where, like, I know you're going to just be a total rock star in this business and see where you head. And I'm excited to see that journey and be there for the full journey. And
Awesome.
so thank you again,
Thanks for having
everybody. Everybody, tonight we have our free live info session. Again, if you guys want your personal link, just reach out to me or check out my website, ericad.co. Then you can register with your name and your email, and you can get your personal link right in your email address. And so you can watch live with us tonight. Awesome story today. So much fun, Stephanie, talking with you. Everybody have a great evening. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.